You. All right, well, here are back again at Animal Training Development Center. Today we have with us Piper, and Piper is an 8-month-old German Shepherd dog. So you don't often get to see them all white like this, but she's beautiful and really looks great in the snow. And we'll show you some video of her having a good time playing in one of the fresh snows we've had here recently. She definitely loves to make some doggy snow angels and runs around like a big pup. So she is a very young dog, but old enough to start to learn adult style techniques. We did enjoy Piper when she was just a pup in puppy class, and so we've had her here before. But now she's in our 10-day board and train program, kind of at the tail end of that program, actually. Gonna get picked up tomorrow, and I know she'll be excited to see you guys, and you'll be excited to see her. So without further ado, I'll kind of show you what we've done. So the first thing we do with every dog is we teach this unspoken command. You could put a word to it if you wanted to, but really the idea is if I start to walk away and the dog's on a leash, we want them to understand that they should never get to the end of that leash at any time for any reason. So as I begin to move this direction, you can see that she's starting to follow in behind. She's lagging quite a bit, but that's fine. She doesn't have to be in a very structured heel position at all at this stage. We're going to get into that command soon, but for right now, the unspoken command is whenever your dog's on a leash, they should never get to the end of that leash at any time for any reason. The way that we teach her, if she does lag too far behind, right here, I'll give a quick tug right before I reach the end. So what we're doing as handlers, and what you'll do as owners, is be sure that you're doing your job by making sure that she's doing her job. And her job is to keep slacking the leash at all times. Now, she doesn't have to be on one side or the other. She could be ahead of me. She could be behind me. She could be to the right. She could be to the left. There's a lot of freedom with this unspoken command. This is just my everyday, I want to enjoy a walk with you type of thing, and we don't have any busy streets to cross or any dangers to pass through, anything like that, and we're just enjoying each other's company. So you could decide how much leash you give her. We've got her on a 6-foot leash today. I could choke up on that, but the same rules still apply. So now you can see she's really only got about 2 feet of leash and still doing a fine job keeping some slack within that length of leash. Once you get really good on a 6-foot leash, then you could even break out your retractable or longer line, maybe a 12-footer or something like that. And what I love about a 12-foot line is for every step I take, they can take maybe 10 steps. And if I take a mile walk, they've taken a 10-mile walk. Is a pretty good deal for both of us. The next thing that we got into is this command to sit, which he's already showing us. Oh, freeze her release word, free dog, good girl. Now we'll give her the command to sit. Sit, good. And sit means sit and keep sitting no matter what happens while you're sitting until I tell you you can stop sitting. So we've been practicing walking some circles around her both directions sort of thing. Good girl, very nice, good. We've played little games with her like we've got our holiday mud out here. Good. Right? Good. Good dog. Free dog. And once I give them the release word, if she's curious and she wants to go check it out, she's welcome to do so. But you saw that while she was holding her sit command, she really even avoided looking at it and was paying attention to me. And that just shows the potential your dog has of becoming a really superstar when it comes to obedience. I know that she's got a dominant side to her, and we kind of worked through that early in our program. And I really think that she's kind of swung over to a high supportive dogality type with the underside of dominance, so she can still be a little frisky and a little stubborn at times, but really overall I see her as very eager to please. So that's what we've done with the sit command. We also practice having her hold sit as we drop treats in front of her. We've had her hold sits as we bounce balls in front of her. We definitely make her hold sits as a healthy habit before we go inside or outside any door, and also before she gets in and out of our our travel van. And so it's a good, healthy habit to keep with. Just be sure that if you're going to take her anywhere, make her sit at the door, you open the door, and if you're going to go for a walk with them, you go out first. Same thing coming home, you make them sit, you open the door, make sure they hold that sit as you come in. The way that we correct them if they don't sit, Piper, sit. Good girl. I couldn't show you because she did it. But if she didn't do it, I would have just said the word no. And as I do that, I tug up and behind her head, just trying to pivot her head up and her butt toward the ground, and it works out really well. Free dog. Good girl. Sit. Next, we're going to talk about the heel command. Heel is the most strict and most important command that we teach any dog to do, no matter what their future job is going to be. So even if we're talking about a service animal, personal protection dog, something like that, this heel command that you're about to see is the most important command of all, because it requires the most focus and the most precision of all commands in order for it to be done properly. So really what we're thinking of when we give the heel command is a position in relationship to our body. You chose the right side, so she's on my right, but you'll also notice that her paws and my feet are parallel to each other. She's close enough that I could reach over and touch her, but not so close that she would be in my way if I tried to turn a sharp right-hand turn. Now, as I lead with my inside foot, that's also her signal to heel. And as I walk, she should stay in that position every step of the way. And what I'm really looking for, no heel, in her case, is for her left paw to kind of fall in stride with my right foot every step of the way. And as you can see, she's really pretty close to that. And that's kind of where we want to know that they're at in terms of positioning, so that they're in the right position. If they're too far ahead, then you're going to be stuck not being able to turn right. And we want her to be back for far enough that you can have freedom of motion in every direction. When we stop, we like that automatic sit. You can see she's doing a good job of that. If I lead with my left foot, we'll call this my outside foot, she should stay put, just like she's showing us here, and holding that sit position. If I lead with my right foot, you can see even if I don't give the verbal command to heel, she's falling into position and staying in that heel. And this way we have a dog that's not just listening for our command, but watching us closely and attentively as well for information we might need to convey. No, sit. There, she didn't sit at the end of the heel, so you saw how I just made that little tug up and behind, gave that word no and told her to sit. She knows she's supposed to do that at the end of the heel, and she kind of forgot that time, which is fine. Next thing we taught her is down. Good. And again, if I lead with that outside foot, now she should stay put in that down position. Very good, Piper. And leading with the inside foot. See, she gets up and heels. Now, this will continue so long as you guys can remember to do it that way. So really think through as you practice this at home. When you line up in that heel position, just be sure that you take your time and think about what leg you're going to lead with and what that means to your dog. So one of the ways that I give help to people to remember is I say you lead with the leg closest to your dog. No, sit. You lead with the leg closest to your dog when you want them to stay close to you. So that right foot, she falls in line and she's staying with me. You lead with the leg furthest from your dog. No, sit. You lead with the leg furthest from your dog when you want them to stay far from you, and that's how she's been trained. Good girl. Another way to think of it, if your dog heels on the right, you lead with your right to heel. If they were to be trained on the left, you would lead with your left, but in your case, it's the right. Good dog, Piper. You notice me doing some figure eight patterns, heel. I love figure eight patterns because it helps you practice both left and right turns. And so you're just going to work left around one cone and then right around the other. At home, you could use 2 chairs. You could use 2 books on the floor, just really any 2 points of reference to help her work her figure eights, being sure that when you stop, she sits. There you got one. Not the down. There you go. Sit. Good girl. You're doing great. You're doing great. All right. The next thing we taught her is this idea of place. Piper, place. And place is really a nice one to have in your toolkit. I love it, especially like around the holidays. You know, we've got Christmas right around the corner, and this may be too early in her training for her to really be counted on to hold the place through a Christmas level type distractions. But at our house, when our daughter was young, we would have out several different areas for our dogs, and we would give the place commands, and then we could pass the presents around, and our dogs would chew on their toy on their place, and the other dog over here, and daughter opening the presents and enjoying her presents going there, and we would just have our little circle of family, and it's a good way for them to know they could do whatever they want on the place. They just can't get off of it. So she could stand up right now, she could turn around, lay down on it the other way. You can give her a toy to chew on. She likes to chew, and at 8 months old she still really needs to chew quite a bit, so you know, have her some chew toys or something she could have on there. But the idea of the place is that she could do whatever she wants, she just can't get off of it. And this is a good one to have in anybody's toolkit. I find that anybody that takes the time to train this is glad they took the time to do it, and it really does come in handy. Now, you don't have to use a cot like this. You can use a yoga mat. You can use a beach towel. You could you know, use just a doggy bed type style thing. Whatever it is, you know, make it something that you could travel with. And these are nice to have around the house and around the training center, but it's kind of cumbersome to travel with. You get yourself a nice yoga mat that you can roll up and put in your backpack. It's just like the old Western, they would say, home is where you hang your hat. Well, I find for the dog training, home is where you lay their mat. So anyway, just a nice one. You can see she's comfortable enjoying that, and we've been practicing that as well. Free dog. Now she needs to hold that until I either give her another command, or in this case, free dog, and give her the release word. There you go, good girl. And she can get off of it at that time. We taught her the kennel command. I know you guys don't really need this at home, but I saw a good meme on Instagram, I think it was, a few months ago, and it said, not every dog needs to stay in a crate, but every dog should be crate trained. And I like that thing because I really feel like that's true. If your dog ever were to have to travel on an airplane, a lot of times this is how they have to travel. It just gives them this extra thing. So we taught her kennel. And she knows, just like with the place command, you know, she should go in there when she hears kennel, and even if the door's open, she should stay in there until I give the release word. Or if I give her another command, if I say heel, obviously she could come out of there and do that command and get out of the kennel in order to do that. So that's one we threw in. I know you guys told us that she doesn't really stay in one at home, and that's fine. Like I say, not every dog needs to stay in a crate, but every dog should be crate trained, just in case they need to stay there at some point. Good dog. Good girl. The hand signal for the down, by the way, if I just put my hand out like this. Down. Good girl, you forgot that. It's just a flat hand out over their head. Again, leading with my outside foot, she should stay put. Walk in a circle around her. Inside foot to heel. Nice dog. Good. Last thing we'll get into is this idea of the come command. Come. Good. Come is a position in relationship to your body, kind of like heel is a position in relationship to your body, except in this case, we want her seated facing us. Really important when you call a dog and they come, they're not finished until they come and sit. Free dog. I've learned this the hard way many, many years ago. You can get on there if you want. Place. She wants to get on there even without the command. So, like I said, it's a comfortable thing for them once they learn it. Back to the idea of the come command. If you don't teach them to come and sit, most dogs will learn to come and go all at the same time. And we call those doggy flybys. They're kind of funny and kind of embarrassing and kind of dangerous. If your dog isn't stopping and sitting to where you can get a hold of them, put a leash back on them or whatever, then that's not a good thing. So what we're doing to teach this, and she's still very young, I wouldn't count on this off leash outdoors. You know, if you're in your backyard and it's fenced or something like that, fine. But I wouldn't just throw her in a van, take her out to the park and take her off leash. She's way too young and not had enough experience yet to be trusted off leash. I always say that the one thing we can't do in 10 days is give them life experience, and we just really need to keep practicing this foundation that we've laid until she's been around the annual block a couple of times. And being 8 months old, this is really the first winter she's ever even seen. So all the distractions that come with winter are things she's starting to experience now. Springtime will be a whole nother level of distraction that she'll need to go through again. Same thing with summer. Now she's had a summer under her belt, sort of. of, but she needs another full one while she's being trained in order to get through the distractions, because distractions are to dog training as weights are to weightlifting. And if you think of somebody that's really strong, they can lift a lot of weight. Well, how do they get to lift that weight? They practice a lot. They start with lightweight and they slowly but surely start to build more and more and more strength until they can put more and more weight on the bar, and they've gotten super strong over the time that they've been working out. Same thing with your training. The more you train and the more consistently you keep at it, you can start to add distractions to the training. Distractions like this dog here, distractions like bouncing balls and dropping treats. And outside, of course, you've got distractions that you can't even control, things like squirrels and rabbits and kids that go by on bicycles and joggers and cars and planes and trains and automobiles, all that stuff, right? So just be sure that you're getting your dogs to work through distractions, and think of it like working out. You want to create a challenging but doable environment for you and your dog both to train and get stronger in your obedience and your relationship together. And that's really what dog training is all about. It's not just about them understanding the meaning of all these different words, but it's about understanding that you're a team with them and you're both kind of connected together through this obedience. And it's a really fun thing to work through, but it takes time for you to learn as well as for your dog to learn. It takes time then for you to become a team and work together. And so we always tell people, we want to give you that private lesson. You're going to come pick up your dog tomorrow, and I know, like I said, she's going to be super excited to see you. You'll be excited to see her, and this is not the time to do your lesson, but you get her home, get her settled back in a little bit, and after about a week or so, we should schedule that time for you to come back to training center and let us put the leash in your hands and coach you through. Meanwhile, please, take this video, look through it once or twice, and then, put the leash on, try some of this at home. Be patient with yourself, be patient with your dog, and start with very low-level distractions, like your own living room, quiet time of day with not a lot going on. That's the best place to start, where she's really familiar and you can keep the distraction levels under control, versus going out to the park and trying out there where the distraction level is going to be a lot higher and impossible for you to control because you can't control all the wildlife and stuff like that. So we've really enjoyed having her. Thanks for your trust in us. She's really got along really well with my own German Shepherd. You're going to get to see some video of them playing together in the snow, and beyond that, they play together each and every day, both here at the training center and different places we've gone. So really good with other dogs, really good with our little Pomeranian. He likes to think he's the boss, and she thinks he's kind of cute, and so she was really kind of fun. You'd mentioned a little bit of the biting. Yeah, I think that's a lot of the herding dog stuff. We kind of talked about that on the phone. Herding dogs have this tendency to be a little mouthy, and their instinct is to kind of try to be controlling and nipping. And I think she's still, even though she's got all her adult teeth in, 8 months old, she's still really having a need to chew. And we found a couple of bones she really liked. I know you sent the antlers, and she likes those. But I've got another one I want to show you that she likes even better, and I'll show you that as well. So thanks again for letting us enjoy her. She's a fantastic dog, and on her way to be a fantastic dog for you as well. And we're looking forward to helping you through the process. So we'd like to say, as always, thanks for watching and happy training. Free dog.